Hello, my people. Thank you so much for joining me again in this live section. Today is the 24th day of June, which is Tuesday, and we'll be looking at what Senator Abaribe said. You guys know that Senator Abaribe is representing the Abia State side. So, looking at what the Senator Abaribe said on Arise TV, the way he was saying that federal government is the cause of the crisis going on in the southeast that people are not aware of. Now, Southeast region has of Nigeria has been experiencing unrest and tensions, different kind of things has been happening. Partly, they said it partly due to the activities of the indigenous people of Biafra and the government's response to them. So, Senator Abaribe, representing the Abia South, has been vocal about the need for dialogue and negotiation to resolve the crisis. Now, he has been saying that, oh, let them use dialogue and negotiation to actually resolve the crisis that is going on in the southeast. To be honest, I'm going to tell you guys that Senator Baribe is the only person I know that this man is only speaking for the betterment of the Igbos. This one is not like this one is not Ojus Okalu. Ojus Okalu is an Igbo man, but we don't understand his way. He's always supporting the APC. You see an Igbo man betraying his own brothers, supporting APC. So one thing I like about Senator Baribe is that he states the facts. He tells you, oh, if he was also the one that had to recall the Senate. If you guys remember when Senator Abaribe recalled the Senate and told them that you guys omitted the budget for the Southeast. So for me, I don't feel it was omitted. I feel it was an intentional something. Senator Baribe is always using his 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 platform. Will I even say platform or his the this thing he's occupying, the position he's occupying to talk for the Igbos. That is one thing I like about this man. So this is what Abaribe was saying. Abaribe was saying that they should settle everything going on in the southeast through dialogue and negotiation to resolve the crisis. So this is Abaribe's claim. And the reason why he said that the federal governments are responsible for the things going on in Southeast. Now, this is what he said. He said inconsistent security approach. So Abaribe questions the government's logic in negotiating with groups that have attacked military assets without labeling them terrorists, while IPOB is quickly branded as a terrorist organization. This inconsistency, he argues, fuels the crisis and creates confusion. Exactly. When I say that the government, federal governments are only saying that IPOB is a terrorist group, but they're not been saying that now that they have Mazin Namdekali is in continuous detention and Simon Ekpa is also in continuous detention. Now, who are the real terrorists? It's enough to tell the federal government that Mazin Namdekali is not a terrorist. So, Abaribe is questioning the government. There is questioning the government's logic in negotiating with groups. These people are just negotiating with groups that have attacked military assets without labeling them terrorists. Like these people, the federal government is there having discussions with the terrorists themselves, having discussions with them without saying that, oh, these people are terrorists, but they know that they are the ones spying people in Nigeria. But then they are here labeling IPOB as terrorists. So another thing that Abaribe was also saying is the reason why it's that federal government is the cause of insecurity in the south is refusal to engage in dialogue. The Abaribe advocates for dialogue with indigenous people of Biafra, suggesting that dismissing negotiations escalates the situation and that talking could lead to a peaceful solution. He believes that the government should engage the group to understand their grievances and find a mutual beneficial solution. So the reason why Abaribe was saying that the federal governments are the cause of crisis in the south is because they have refused to engage in dialogue. Yes, if you guys remember when many people have been telling the federal government, especially Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that you should call the all these freedom agitators and engage them in dialogue. Ask them what do they want. But till now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu has not even done anything about it. He has not said so. The refusal to engage in dialogue is what Abaribe is saying that is the reason why there's so much crisis in the south is because the federal government has refused to do what it's supposed to do. So another thing that Abaribe is also saying is introduction of assassinations. Abaribe alleges an attempt to introduce assassinations in the southeast, which is aligned to the region. He asked the government to identify those behind the killings and restore peace. And this is what Abaribe is saying. He's saying that the federal government know all the people that are killing people in the southeast, and he knows them. He knows people that are causing problem in Nigeria. But because of they have refused to introduce those people, that's introduced the assassinations. And that is why you see they have been telling the federal government, identify the people who are doing these things and restore peace in Nigeria. You guys are aware of it, but you guys don't want to call them out so that we can restore peace in Nigeria. So another thing that Abaribe was saying is lack of fairness and equity. Abaribe laments the Southeast exclusion from government decisions, citing the 380 billion irrigation projects in the 2025 budget. He notes that the Anambra Imo River Basin Development Authority, serving the Southeast, received zero allocation, further marginalizing the region. If you guys can remember, I just told you guys now that Abaribe is one of the Igbo senator I respect so much, because this man is always advocating, using his position for the Igbos, always advocating for the Igbos. Like he's always talking for the Igbos whenever it comes to any matter, or anytime the Igbos are having any problem. Now, this is what there was a time in the Senate house that Beribe told them that, why will you guys omit Igbo budget? And they were like, oh, it was a mistake. But for me, I don't think it was a mistake. They did it intentional. They tried to omit Igbos from having their own budget. This to show you the hate that these people have for the Igbos. So this is what Aberibe was telling the federal government, and this is the reason why he said that federal government are the causes of crisis in the south. He said lack of fairness and equity. Aberibe laments the southeast exclusion from government decisions, citing the 380 billion irrigation project in the 2025 budget. He notes that the Anambra and Imo River Basin Development Authority, serving the southeast, received zero allocation. You can imagine, they received zero allocation. Like, how possible is that? That the budget that are given to other people, when they now came to Anambra and Imo River Basin Development Authority, that serving that they now received zero allocation, further marginalizing the region. You see the reason why they say that that NNAMDI KANU is fighting to stop the marginalization of the Igbos, because it's getting too much. So another thing that Abaribe is saying, that the federal government at the cause of the problems in Southeast is ignoring regional concerns. Abaribe expresses frustrations that despite the Southeast calls for equity and fairness, the government continues to disregard the region's concerns. He emphasized that the Igbo people want equal treatment and respect. Exactly. The Igbo people want equal, they want respect, they want equal treatment. The way they're treating the Northerners is not the way they're treating the Igbos. The Northerners are always being favored in anything, they are always being favored. Now you see, when you hear that, oh, a Fulani man bite somebody, they even free the Fulani man, and you that they bite, that's the victim, will not be the one that they will not be attacking and saying, oh, you tried to even buy a phone animal, oh, let us take you to jail. Like just the story of Jackson that buyed a Fulani man and they sentenced him to death. You can imagine. So guys, I want you guys to listen to what Abaribe have to say about the federal government, saying that they are the problem of the Southeast. Guys, take a look at this and I'll be right back.
Morning, always a delight to be here.
Well, Senator Abaribe, I think Tundu already identified the major issues. Please, could you share with us the purpose of the Southeast Caucus meeting, the outcome, the major decisions reached, and next steps by that Southeast Caucus, particularly with regard to IPOB and the continued detention of Mazi NNAMDI KANU?
Ruben, if you look at the meeting, you will see that it was across parties, it was across all divides, and it was the caucus of both the House of Rep and the Senate. And the idea for us was that we had looked at what was happening. It's our constituents that are bearing the brunt of all that has been going on there. And it was necessary for us to take a stand. And that was what we did. And you could see the communique that we issued after the meeting. Basically, that IPOB itself had said that they had called off the sit-at-home. And nobody knows who exactly is going around saying that they were enforcing a non-existent order. The spokesman of IPOB is Emma Powerful, who had issued a statement to that effect. And I think Governor Peter Obi said it the other day that maybe some other actors have joined, criminals, cultists, all manners of people, and are using the sit-at-home to perpetrate mayhem in the Southeast. And we all condemned it in its entirety. And we also felt that if the grown norm, let's say the reason for all this has to do with the incarceration of NNAMDI KANU, just like we had done earlier, that we should try to engage the authorities and make sure that we can find a solution that will be palatable to all sides. And that's exactly the kernel of what we discussed.
Right. I want to talk about that possibility that you feel exists of a political solution to the current incarceration of NNAMDI KANU. What exactly is the likelihood of this political solution? What angle are you approaching negotiations with the Federal Republic, if at all you're considering that? Can you take us through what you're thinking in terms of plans for that?
Well, I guess that there is nothing that you cannot be negotiated. There's nothing that you cannot come and say, let us have a discussion on. And we intend that we will also engage the authorities, the federal authorities. And, there are two aspects to this. If we can find a resolution, a way forward, then we will approach the legal side, because we know that there are some legal issues also involved there. It's not going to be easy. We do not think that it's just a walk in the park, but we know that it's better to talk than to let things continue to slide the way it was going. Because you could see that it degenerated into not even letting children go to school and all that, go take exams and so forth. And that's not in our character. And we felt that we need to come in and decisively step into the matter. Of course, with every other stakeholder, the Ohanese, the governors, and every other person, we think that there's still a chance at a negotiated settlement.
Oh, and we'll come back to you, Senator Ibes, Senate Minority Leader, former Deputy Governor of Abia State. Senator, good to have this conversation with you. So the last time you were here, you talked about the possibility of some people, causing all this mayhem, and you kept on saying it's not IPOB. With this, now that you've said, can we hold you by that by saying maybe some other actors are causing all of this, and probably who are those actors? And secondly, I'd like to talk to you about all of this sort of rapprochement. Is it because of the president visited? Is it because there was a dialogue, by some Igbo leaders with the president? How is all of this connected to the president's visit? And then there's some other things, because media was shut out of that hall, that request you made from the president from that visit that we should know about, at least to allay fears and calm people down.
Well, if I take what you said earlier, first of all, IPOB on its own said that there should be no more sit at home, and that people should go about their businesses, legitimate businesses, and all that. Yet, there were some people who attacked people who were going about their business, saying that, that there should be a lockdown, meaning that nobody now knows who was enforcing what. And that's why we felt that those who have enforcing it could not have been the people who also said, let there be no sit down. That is why we are saying that it must have been elements that we do not know. And we actually also suggested that both the governors and the security agencies work hand in hand and fish out those who are doing this, because this is detrimental to our welfare and the economy of the Southeast. On the matter of what was discussed with the president, I wasn't there, but I know that the speech that was read by the president of Ohanese was released to the press. And in all, what everybody wants is to have peace in your place, because without peace, you can't have any development, you can't have any movement, you can't have anything. And I think that each and every one of us pulling from different strands will probably bring to to our people the required resolutions of, that they want. Secondly, we also feel that there is an attempt to introduce into the Southeast something that is alien to us, which is these incessant killings and assassinations and so forth. It doesn't have, it's not us. Our ethos as Ndibo is Onyagala one there. We don't forsake your brother. So the brothers are killing brothers, and that all these type of things are happening, we think is alien to our character. And that's why we feel that the sooner every other person comes in and we find out who and take out those who are doing this, the better for every one of us in the Southeast. That's exactly the situation now.
Well, Senator, two quick things. The Southern Governors Forum, 17 governors, some of them represented by their deputies, met yesterday in Enugu, and they came up with a number of resolutions with regard to fiscal federalism, the Petroleum Industry Act, the commercialization of the NNPC, open grazing, and also particularly VAT, which they say should be collected by states. What do you think about the Southern Governors Forum, who again, like the Southeast Caucus that you referred to, met along bipartisan lines? And then secondly, yesterday, one of the strong members of your party, Femi Fani-Kayode, was seen in Aso Villa paying homage to the president and being announced as the newest member of the All Progressives Congress, a party he once described as the Almajiri People's Congress. So he's there now, and he's one of a series of persons who have gone to the APC. He even said some other governors, Bauchi governor or your governor, and some other governors will follow suit. It looks like the PDP is just losing all its prominent persons. How does that position your party for 2023 and the capacity of the party to move from being a minority party into a dominant majority party in 2023?
I would prefer that we do not dwell on Fani Kayode. In Igbo, there's a saying that Amabo onye mkpulato nkojo ya araga ahụ. If you correctly describe a short man, finding him is very, very easy. I think Obasanjo had dealt with the matter of who Fani Kayode is, and I think we should just leave that aside. Coming to the fact,
how did President Obasanjo describe him? How did President Obasanjo describe him?
I think we can find out that he already had made that statement. I would have to repeat it here. But the point really, Ruben, is I listened to Governor Umahi this morning, and he was very emphatic on Channels Television. I said that, Fani Kayode needs to come and apologize to him. How can he say that he brought him to APC? So you could see that already there are discordant tunes coming out from there. And I think we should just leave that. As for the fact that PDP is going to take over in 2023, the facts are very, very clear. Again, our people say that no labanaka and enyo. You know, if you wear a gold bracelet, you don't need to be looking at it. Everybody knows that you're wearing a gold bracelet. Nobody in Nigeria today can say that where we were in 2015 is where we are today in 2021. Are we better off? Capital, no. And so when we go to the polls, we will see how Nigerians are going to express their feelings about the government in power. So we're not bothered about a few people who decide to make their decisions. It's their personal decision where to go. I would not go anyway. So there's nothing to talk about that, Ruben.
Southern Governors Forum meeting in Enugu.
Well, what I see from what the Southern governors did was a reiteration of their meeting both in Delta and in Lagos. And all that they have just done is that they continue to reiterate it. Presidency must come to the South, fiscal federalism to be enforced, and VAT collection. Of course, they are very right on VAT. VAT is not there in the exclusive list. VAT is not there on the concurrent list. And therefore, VAT is residual. Residual means that the states can make laws for it. And I don't see how we can. In fact, if they want my advice, what I would say to the federal government is rather than using FIRS to be dragging unnecessarily, they should call all the attorneys general of the states, sit down and hash out a resolution of this matter. And that should now take care of that. You know, we can't be a federation. And then some people are breaching the law. The law is clear. VAT is not in the exclusive, no concurrent list. So the federal government has absolutely no say in that matter. I can understand the history. And I watched Ijewere yesterday when he said, this is how we came to this point, and this is what happened. And we can take in all those historical facts into consideration and our present realities, sit with everybody and hash out a solution, which is what federalism is all about.
Well, still on the issue of the Southern Governors Forum, they also reiterated the importance of regional security. So my question is, what has happened to Ebube Agu in that clash with the ESN? And that also raises the issue you referred to earlier about the political solution, possible political solution for the current incarceration of NNAMDI KANU as opposed to a legal solution. Because we haven't really seen the latest charges brought against him, but we can well imagine. In the last couple of days, the presidency has reiterated the fact that IPOB is a proscribed group. And presidential spokesman Garba Shehu mentioned how IPOB has regularly murdered security services and innocent civilians. So how will that Ebube Agu and ESN conflict in the Southeast be resolved? And how does that designation of IPOB and therefore its leader in these terms, how does that affect your attempt to find a political solution for his release?
Well, I wouldn't be in the best position to talk about Ebube Agu because that is exactly the job of the chief security officers of the Southeast. Their job is to have that regional outfit. They signed up to it. They told us about it. They came together and informed the whole world that they have it. So I guess that they are in the best position to do so. As for the fact that the IPOB is proscribed and therefore you can't talk to them. And I do not think that that is correct. The fact is simple. They are showing that there is sympathy for them. And if you are in charge of a nation of diverse interests in the manner that we have, there must be a way for you to resolve issues without being unduly legalistic. And I've said it here before. IPOB and is whatever they are doing now and the tag that they are giving them is the fault of the federal government. How can you, I repeat, how can you leave people who have been able to shoot down a military aircraft and you don't call them terrorists? And you now say, oh, these ones who are running around here are terrorists and you will never talk to them. Yet, you are talking to those who shot down an aircraft. And so that is where the problem is. If the government is interested in having peace in our land, which is the first order of business of a government, which is the welfare and security of our people, then the Constitution, you have to explore all options. You don't write off one option and say, we won't do it. You write it off, the matter continues the way it is. Who loses? At the end of the day, the presidency of President Buhari will go into history. Whatever is false is this thing, there will always be a reckoning in history. And if you want to be seen as the man who led Nigeria into its disintegration, then that is his decision to take. And so we have said we are ready. We are part of the Southeast. We know some of the people who we can all bring together, governors, Ohanese, clergymen, everybody, and say, let's talk. And we have always said that. When I came here last time, I also said the same thing. I said, let's talk. Why wouldn't we talk? And so, for us from the Southeast, something is very, very difficult for us to comprehend. You're very willing to go and talk to foreign Fulanis who are invading Nigeria and causing mayhem here. You're very willing to talk to the people you call bandits. Of course, I've always told you here that I don't believe that they are bandits. They're terrorists. It's just that we're giving them a beautiful name. You're willing to pay ransom. You're willing to do all manners of negotiation with them. And we saw it. Why is it that when it comes to the Southeast, you're very unwilling? You want to bomb them. You want to do that. And I say one final thing.
So for you guys listening to what Abaribe said about the federal government, saying that they're the ones that are even causing the thing that is going on in Nigeria, that they say that they're the ones that are causing the crisis that is going on in Nigeria. Because just take, for instance, you're saying that, oh, these people that are running around now, you're saying that IPOB is a terrorist, but you're out there talking to people who are what they did the first time Buhari entered, when Goodluck Jonathan entered was to bomb Abuja. Now you're there negotiating and talking with them and say, oh, they're not the terrorists. You're talking with the main terrorists, and now you're coming out to say that IPOB is the terrorist. People IPOB that don't even have any case of they did this, they did that, they did not even do anything at all, and you're out there mingling with the real terrorists. You see why Abaribe said that federal government are the cause of the issue that is going on in the Southeast, and now it doesn't even want to take some approach to settle all these things. The federal government doesn't want to take some approach like dialogue and negotiation, engaging in talks with IPOB and other stakeholders to understand their grievances and find a peaceful solution. Addressing marginalization, ensuring that the Southeast region receives fair treatment and allocation of resources. Consistent security approach, developing a clear and consistent security strategy that addresses the root cause of the crisis. Now, The federal government has refused to take all these approaches to end the crisis in Nigeria, especially in the southeast, to end the crisis in the southeast. And that's why Abaribe is saying that the federal government is the cause of all these things, and also the Igbos, the Igbo leaders are also the cause of it. Sometimes I used to hear that, oh, the Igbo leaders, they're always having a meeting in Enugu State where they talk about what did they even really talk about in their meeting? That's the question we should be asking. What did they even really talk about in that their meeting? Are they only talking about how to ascertain another position again, or how to win an election again? Like, is it that they don't even talk about the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in all the meetings that they have been going to? Is that what they're trying to tell us? Because if you check all the whole meeting that these people are doing, to all the whole meeting, they will say, "Oh, we'll talk to Bola Ahmed Tinubu to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu." So now it is not done. So now they said that they will talk to Bola Ahmed Tinubu to release Mazi Nnamdi. Since that time, nothing has been done about the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Nothing. And you'll be asking yourself, what do these people discuss in Senate? Like, anytime the governors of Southeast come together to have a meeting, what do they even really discuss? Like, are they only discussing of how to win election? Are they only discussing on how to come into power the next term? Or is that what they're really discussing? You see why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is saying that many people are saying that the Igbos are the cause of their problem too. The Igbos don't always have the back of their brothers. Imagine the way the Southeast governors are always sidelining Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Anything that comes in, they won't talk about it. That time that Bola Ahmed Tinubu visited Anambra State, and people are expecting Governor Soludo to talk about the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he didn't say anything about it. In fact, he went and was talking about his own thing. He went and was talking about P2B. Is that what he's supposed to be talking about? We're talking about P2B, how P2B ruled Anambra State. So we to be talking about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the release of your brother. We're talking about how you're talking about P2B. The reason why people are saying that the Igbo leaders are also the cause of their problems. Because tell me why the president, federal government will feel that the Igbo leaders don't even care about their brother. So they'll feel so reluctant in releasing him. They'll just feel so reluctant. But if the Igbo leaders are always showing us that, oh, they want the release of Mazi and they want the if they're showing us that they want the release of Mazi and the Kanu, by now Mazi and the Kanu would have been released. But the Igbo leaders are not even showing us so nonchalant about the release of their brother, which is very, very terrible. And I'll keep saying that the people who are causing the crisis in Nigeria, as well as the Southeast, are the people in power, just like the federal government, the Igbo leaders, in fact, the people who were the people who knew the truth, but they were hiding it from us for a very long time, like Gowon and Ibrahim Babangida. All those people are the cause of the thing going on in Nigeria. Yes, they're the cause of it. Because of everything going on in Nigeria. Now all of a sudden they're all coming out to confess to us that Gowon came out and told us that he liked the Igbos, that what he did was just to unite Nigeria. You want to unite Nigeria and you sacrifice lives, 10,000 lives of Igbos. Like it was not even any other tribe. It was just Igbos. You sacrificed their lives to unite Nigeria. And where are we today? Nigeria is still at siege. Nigeria is in serious siege, to be honest. A serious siege. Nigeria is in serious siege. And the worst part is that everybody is saying that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the savior of Nigeria. Still, people are aware of all these things. Still, they don't want to support him. They know that everything this man has said, all his book, everything he has been talking about Nigeria, everything he said about the Fulani terrorists, as well as what is going to happen in Nigeria, is not coming to pass. And people are seeing it, that they're not seeing it, that what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said is true. I want you guys to just listen to this broadcast of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, what he said about what is going on in Nigeria, and I'll be right back.
There are people who are, I won't use too much grammar because a lot of people are watching, mothers are watching, grandmothers are watching in the villages. People who out of cowardice and self-hate think that Nigeria somehow can be won. But all of you know that Nigeria is an Islamic country. I'm sure you're aware of that. All of you also understand the intentions of the Fulani. Oh, if you want the presidency, you have to work for it. Tinubu, you must work for it. How is Tinubu working for it? You must condemn anybody who comes out to speak against our people in your forest. That is what they are doing. Some of you don't understand it, but we do. Some of you do not understand what is happening, but we do. And that is why we are here to tell you. The real terrorists in Asarok, they have dropped them. And now presidency is telling you, you cannot touch them. But these are people killing people in Yoruba forest. No, you cannot touch them. A whole presidency to tell you that every Fulani man is in on this. Their foot soldiers are Mieti Allah. Have you all forgotten that they gave Mieti Allah 100 billion? Have you all forgotten? No, typical Nigerian nigger. Have you all forgotten? So you've forgotten that this so-called presidency, Garba Shehu, gave Mieti Allah 100 billion to come down to the south to give peanuts to useless monarchs and traditional rulers so that our forests can be taken. Have you all forgotten? Oh, you have. Of course, you're in the zoo. You've forgotten. Did they give 100 billion to any other organization? Did Asarok give 100 billion to any other group? Why would a government give 100 billion to a bunch of terrorists and openly claim that they are stakeholders in the government? That is why government can come out openly without shame to support terrorists in Yoruba forests. Let them come to our land and they will see. They say that all the government of Ondo State and others must draw a boundary. Where, who are the bandits and who are the law-abiding? How can we know? As I'm going there, my phone, all the lizards, all the, you know, now lizard, all their stomach is almost on the floor. So we don't know which one has belly ache. How do we know? How can you differentiate between a good headsman and a violent terrorist headsman? How can you know? How can you know? I'm asking you. Mieti Allah is there, remote controlling all your lives. Look at how they installed, after installing Hope, they installed the idiot Hope, George Obiozo. George Obiozo was the man that took Hope to the north to go and introduce him as a politician. The same Uzodema that George Obiozo, he's an intellectual, as they, you know, if fools. Once they give you a degree, they say you're an intellectual. George Obiozo, before you took Hope Uzodema to the north, did you know that Hope Uzodema was doing 419 in Lagos? He was a fraudster doing Yahoo in Lagos. Who doesn't know in Imo State that Hope Uzodema was a fraudster in Lagos? These are the type of leaders that they imposed on our people. Idiots. And we are there. Apex organization. Apex. These are errand boys for the caliphate. That's why BBC is promoting him. That is why they are all promoting. That is what they have always done. Black people are like that. As I told you before, when the British came to stop the eastern advance of the French colonial forces in Benin Republic, in Badagry, basically in Badagry. You know what Britain did? They didn't go to England to come bring soldiers. They went to Ghana. They recruited Ghanaians, black niggers from Ghana, to come and help them to conquer their fellow niggers in Nigeria. They didn't have to go travel very far. That is why I keep saying that the brain of a black man is his greatest impediment. You see, inside this brain, everything a black man is suffering from is here. Inability to reason. Inability to reason. It is the truth I must tell you. Some may not like it, but of course I will tell you. You cannot, the presidency is telling, you cannot unilaterally push out headsmen. What are they doing in the bushes? In the forest? And they said this to feed their cattle. Before the white man came, where were you feeding your cattle? Fulani? Where? What was your cattle eating then? They said it's climate change. Of course, it's a lie. You came from very barren, arid Sahel. No rain in Sahel for centuries. It didn't start today. You were able to keep your cattle, you drink the blood and you drink the milk. That's how you survive. Now, what are you doing in Ondo Forest? Our people cannot see because they are blind. People cannot see because they are blind. But we are here to open your eyes. All of them killing themselves over Jonathan presidency. From the so-called Niger Delta or Yoruba that was dying because of Obasanjo presidency. Where are they today? They are still the ones crying that things are not okay. So you think as an Igbo man, if you're there for 8 years, somehow, miraculously, you will change anything? Hiroshi tried and they killed him. Use your brain. It was meant to be Alex Ekwueme after Shagari. Buhari overthrew the government in 1983. Some of you don't know history. Rather than allow an Igbo man to become the president, they did a coup. Some of you need to reason very well. Also, you claim you went to school, you should be able to use your brain. Oh, can you believe it? People who are foolish, they cannot, because of the Nchonche wild chicken change they give you in Abuja. You don't have a house in Abuja because of that. You are going to suffer and die. Check the Wakuno, there are mad people. You've not seen anything yet. You have not seen anything.
During the war, part of the things the Gowon did to cause more death in the Igbo land was to take all the money deposited in the bank by the Igbos, all our money, and gave us only 20 pounds. Whether you have 200,000 pounds or 200 million, or the federal government of Nigeria took it away, as long as it is owned by the Igbo man. He took them away and was using that money to fight us. What does that tell you? If it were today's world, what they did in the South was genocide. It wasn't a war. Because the Biafran soldiers were giving them hell at the battleground. Instead of them to battle them, they went after the civilians. Innocent civilians, women and children. That was why the casualty was so high on Igbo land. They left the real soldiers who were fighting them in the bush because they couldn't match the Biafran soldiers. They now vent their anger on innocent Igbo civilians, women and children. That was why there was heavy casualty.
In the course of a war, is that acceptable? Even though we know that they said all is fair in war. But no, is that action acceptable?
That's why we are complaining. Yes, that's why we are. It's not fair. Under the Geneva Convention, you are not supposed to do that. Okay. Go and look at the recorded history of what happened. Women and children who were hiding in a church in somewhere in Onitsha, they slaughtered all of them. Frederick Forsyth said at least over 300 people that he saw. The
Nigerian military did that.
Yes, slaughtered all of them. And even Benjamin Adekunle, the Black Scorpion, he was boasting on how he was cutting down women and children in Igbo land. He was boasting of it. No, is that what you call a war? You are fighting armless women and children.
So, Barrister, why didn't that reintegration process and re-radicalization process
it's going on with terrorists
in Nigeria?
Yes, exactly.
It's happening with Boko Haram terrorists. They are de-radicalizing them, disarming them, and reintegrating them back into the society. And we've seen in all history of wars, like Rwandan genocide, like I cited, there was that program. It took place for peace and unity to be able to reign. Looks like it's some kind of closure for the people who suffered in that crisis. Why didn't that happen in Nigeria?
No, you should be asking Gowon, because he was in a position to do that, but he did not. He did not. So what is he telling me now? This is a man who would have taken care to heal the wounds, but he did not. Now he's telling us it was necessary. It was not necessary. On what ground? Who started that war?
Okay.
In the first place? Who started that war?
If the former head of state, Gowon, didn't do that, the heads of state before him, after him, I mean, why didn't anybody, even in democratic system, when former President Olusegun Obasanjo came in 1999, Jonathan was there, Buhari was there, even the current president now, why haven't any head of state or any president taken any action for that?
Because of what? Propaganda, disinformation. Promise, since that war happened, it had been recorded through propaganda that the Igbos started a civil war, that we wanted to disintegrate Nigeria.
Until IBB's
good, until IBB wrote a book. You can see what we're talking about. So shame is on them now, including Gowon. This thing you are telling me now, Gowon have not deemed it fit to discuss what is going on in Plateau and Benue as of today. His own state, Plateau. He has not told us what happened. Why are they killing them in that state now? His own state, oh. He has never opened his mouth to utter a word about that killing going on there. This was exactly what they were doing to the Igbos that time until the Igbos reacted. This thing that's going on in Plateau, is it not enough to cause war? Tell me, is it not enough to cause war? This is exactly what happened in 1967 when they were killing the Igbos all over the place.
When lives are being threatened.
Perish. And you kept quiet, and you expect them to keep quiet. That was exactly what happened. Eh? Exactly what this is the same modus operandi. But because these people have tolerated, either they don't have the liver to fight or whatever.
All right, Barrister, let's move on to other
So
stories
I
now.
thank God it's happening under Gowon's news. I expected him to talk
And
about
he's from
it.
Plateau State.
I said I expected him to talk about it.
A lot of Plateau citizens have.
So my people, you guys listening to what Barrister Darlington said about the war that happened, during about the Biafran war. Like even what is going on in Nigeria, and especially Plateau State, Borno, and Benue State, is enough to cause another war, like another war. But the people in power are holding it because they know that they are still benefiting a lot from this so-called one Nigeria. You guys heard what Senator Abaribe said concerning the fact that the federal government are the people who are causing crisis in the southeast because they know everything to use and restore peace in the southeast, but they have refused to do it, just like dialogue and negotiation. But for me, in my own opinion, I don't even think Mazen Dekalu will even accept that dialogue or negotiation because people have been saying that they should release him conditionally or unconditionally. So I don't think that Mazen Dekalu may even want it because Mazen Dekalu's main objective, main aim is to remove the Igbos from Nigeria. He wants Igbos to have their own nations, which he knows that, this is going to be so hard. So that is the reason why I said he may not really even accept the dialogue because he knows that if they bring dialogue, if they want them to dialogue, the president, that's Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will give his own conditions. This is what he's going to do, and this is not this is what he's going to do for his release. And Mazen Namdekali will also give Bola Ahmed Tinubu his own condition. So they may not really Bola Ahmed Tinubu may not really like Mazen Namdekali's own decision, and Nnamdi Kanu may not also like what Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going to bring because many people have been saying that even if they should release him conditionally, maybe now Bola Ahmed Tinubu may tell him to submit his passport, deny him visa, then he's going to stop Biafra or stop this radio Biafra of a thing. Maybe now Mazen Nnamdi Kanu may not really want it. So that's why I say that the way things are going, I don't even think it's going to even accept the dialogue or negotiation of a thing. Anyway, guys, that's all we have for today. Let me know your thoughts below. And also, if you know you're new to this channel, please don't forget to click the subscribe button, like, and share. And also turn on the notification button to be getting all the latest news in this channel. So, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in my next like section.